Welcome to Minds Behind the Song. Today I'm joined by Nashville-based singer-songwriter and TikTok sensation Corook. Having found fame for viral hit If I Were a Fish, Corook's latest single is the stunningly beautiful I'm Not Doing Well. Corook, how are you? And how are you enjoying your visit to London?
I am great. The jet lag burns, but I am doing pretty well.
Brilliant. So this is obviously about I'm Not Doing Well, being a mental health charity Mind. It's a subject matter and also a song that will really resonate well with our audiences and listeners. And I just wanted to kind of get what your motivation behind the song was.
Yeah, so I wrote that song with two of my really good friends, Steven, who goes by Rabel, and Ben Abraham. Honestly, the night before the session, I did exactly what the song starts out as, which I was sitting on the couch, my girlfriend was on the phone. I knew I had to tell her I wasn't doing well and I didn't know how to do it. And I sat with the dog and I just had to tell her, I was like, I'm just not doing so great. So the song is very much just like a storytelling piece from beginning to end of like exactly what happened the day before, which was just like me sitting her down and telling her I'm not doing so good.
Doing that is brilliant. So I just want to talk about the process of writing the song, because obviously you had that conversation. Did you find it a positive experience writing it? Did it do well for your own mental health?
It was a very scary experience. Like I said, I wrote it with two writers that like I love and respect very much and look up to. And I was like really nervous to bring this feeling to them because it's like a really big, scary feeling that not everybody would be like brave enough to like dive into. And they were just like so warm and welcoming and just let me have my own space to like say exactly what I wanted to say and just encouraged me. So it was a really good experience.
Do you find creating music helps with processing your sense of identity?
Absolutely.
In what way?
Yeah, I think I'm constantly learning about myself, and I'll often write music and I don't even know what I'm saying, and then like 2 years later I look back and I'm like, dang, that was saying a lot. And I know what that's about now. I feel like music is, for me, it's always been a tool of healing, and a tool of self-expression, and it just has helped me since before I knew it was helping me, you know?
Yeah. And is that journey is that kind of journey you want something to communicate to your audience and to your fan base, that journey you want to go on that journey with them and bring them along?
Yeah, I think that like coming into my adulthood, healing has been just a super important part of my life. And I obviously do that through my music. And I've gotten a lot of messages saying that people are doing that healing at the same time as me, which is really cool, and relating to those songs. So maybe not everybody can write the songs, but everybody can relate to some kind of piece of music that makes them feel those feelings. You know?
How does that make you feel when you hear from your fans saying that your songs had such an inspiration to them?
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. I feel like we're talking about I'm Not Doing Well.
Yeah.
And like that song specifically, I think I've gotten more direct messages, like private messages about that song than any other song. Like I think that people love commenting on the really happy, hopeful songs, you know, publicly, like If I Were a Fish or It's Okay, and making a little community in the comments. But I've gotten a lot of like private messages of people being vulnerable with me and, you know, sharing what that song means to them. And that is a really cool experience to like relate to someone and see that maybe they're not willing to comment publicly that they're not doing well, you know? Like I said, I think it's a really difficult thing to admit, but even just privately with me, it feels like a really sweet.
Yeah, we were saying that, you know, some people can't talk to friends and family or you know, loved ones because mental health is such a subject matter that can be so insular that actually when you listen to a song like yours, it can really open up. So it must be kind of really inspiring that you can have that kind of influence to it.
Yeah.
What do you think? And is that a challenge? Do you find it a challenge? Do you enjoy receiving the message and being able to kind of help?
I so wish that I could reply to everybody. You know, I think that there's part of me that like feels like I let people down sometimes by not messaging back, you know, and that affects my mental health. But I feel like if anybody heard that messaged me, they would be like, please don't worry about it. Like, I just wanted to tell you how I was doing, you know? So for me, I just try to take in as much as I can and allow the rest to be said by the music.
Brilliant. With the I'm Not Doing Well, how do you find it when you sing it each time? Do you This question, do you kind of relive the time when you wrote it, or does it now become the words just the words? Do you still have that meaning when each time you sing the song?
I think it's different every time. Like, it depends on the day I'm having. Like, if I'm having a really hard day, like, even just singing the words "I'm not doing well" over and over again, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not doing well. and then I like really feel it. And then there's also other days where like I'm really focused on how everyone in the room is like taking in the song and like seeing the emotional reactions around the room, or some people are uncomfortable and they can't look, you know, like I think it is a really vulnerable song like that where either you feel it deeply or you're like, I can't feel it at all. Like, please don't.
Yeah.
You know?
And do you find do you find it harder when it is that you're having a difficult day to sing that song? Do you find it harder to do, or do you find your actual performance is better when you're actually in that mood because you're...
Yeah. You know, I'm sure the performance is better.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, I physically have a hard time singing the song. Like, I will sometimes get choked up or not be able to finish it, you know? Yeah.
So kind of talking about music in general and talk about how it's good for your mental health. So I'm going to take you away from Corook the artist, but Corook the music fan. Was there a song that was really good for your mental health and the impact on your mental health? If so, what was that song? How has it impacted your own mental health? Have you been inspired by artists?
Yeah. Absolutely. I think the biggest way that music has helped me is like the creative process of making a song is like a safe haven for me. It feels like a really like safe, closed door environment that I get to be myself 100%, you know, and nobody's watching and nobody's judging. And it's just me being whatever I am that day.
And is there any song in particular that you can think of?
Yeah. You know, the band Pine Grove, their album, Skylight, came at such an important time in my mental health of like change and growth. And I feel like their lyrics just are so often telling the truth, and that truth like can often very much hurt. And so that was a really powerful album for me to listen to and to grow with.
Do you remember the first time you heard that song? And how was it impactful straight away the first time you heard it, or was it?
Oh yeah. You know, Pine Grove was my girlfriend's favorite band, and so when we first started dating, I was like, I don't know who Pine Grove is, and she showed me, and like immediately, I fell in love with it and totally understood why she was obsessed.
This is a bit of a fun question, actually. If you put your music on shuffle and hand it to a random person, what words would they use to describe your taste?
Oh, it's a good one. Probably funky, heartfelt, and vulnerable. Those three.
It's kind of like the outfit, funky, heartfelt, vulnerable. So it's just going back to I'm not doing well, it kind of really encapsulates your feeling and fears about opening up to someone you love about your mental health, which is many experience people many can relate to. Do you have any advice for people who find themselves in the same position that are struggling to open up to someone?
I think that jump is a really hard jump to make, and sometimes it feels like it's too late in your feeling to make the jump. Like you're already feeling so much of it that you can't possibly allow anyone else to know. And I guess my advice would be to take that jump, because it is so much easier to be alive when somebody else knows what you're going through.
You're on your UK tour now. First UK tour, isn't it? First UK.
This is my
first London date.
Yes, first London show ever.
And you're singing I'm Not Doing Well tonight.
Yes, I will.
How are you going to find it singing it after we've just spoken for about half an hour
about mental health?
About mental health. How will you find it?
I think it might hit a lot harder tonight.
Oh, well, first, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you not just for doing the interview, but thank you for that song. You know, music can inspire people to really go and get themselves help.
Yeah.
And that song, I can guarantee you, will do exactly that. So thank you.
Well, I'm going to cry. Thank you.
Right.